But this entire 24-hour period?
Yeah, that's bragging rights right there. Yeah,
bragging rights.
All right, let's
That's why we put it on later on in the day here in Korea, so you guys wouldn't argue too much. All right, let's get into the HyperX draft, Kobe.
I was curious about that because a lot of the NA fans went to sleep. It's so late. Let's get into the draft, though. Good point. And we do already have some target bans. You know, KC, of course, Akali is QUID's best champion. And trying to take out some of those AP solo laners that they have used effectively.
And also sets up a potential Orianna here, honestly, if you're Team Liquid, right? Like, I think she's incredibly strong in the patch, especially with Cassiopeia and Nivea. Maybe it's a setup for the Ryze here for Team Liquid, but I think the Orianna very strong in this position as well.
I think Orianna matches up decently well into the Ryze as well. Historically has been able to outrange and farm pretty comfortably, so we'll see whether that is going to be the decision. I think picking it away from kyeahoo is just enough. And that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, another thing, too, is that they did not target ban Jose's Nefiri, which a lot of teams have been doing since Lion showcased the strategy versus Team Liquid. And Jose is very good with Nefiri, and that pairs with the Orianna Shockwave quite well, as does the Nocturne. So definitely both pairings are still available, but KC locking into that Camille support again for Busio.
And this was more of an Eastern thing, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and so Busio's been putting that one through its paces now that he's got here.
Yeah, I mean, Kobe, you may not know him, but he's an up-and-coming Polish player, and he's been doing absolutely fantastically in the past when he was on these kind of Rome champions. So, and I was really impressed with him on the Camille against T1 as well. I think he had this incredible performance, so I'm excited to see the impact that he can have. But I am curious what they want to try and pair with for Caliste, as you've got the Orianna Nocturne in the opposite.
I just think it's so strong as a support. If you are a mechanically gifted support, which Busio is, he is one of these players that changed from role swap from mid lane down to support, and has been one of his biggest strengths was his mechanics and outplaying a lot of other supports. So if you have Camille and you can move around the map and affect those side lanes, and especially the mid lane as well, where they champion like Orianna that is low mobility, then Busio definitely will have a big impact. And Core has responded with the team fight here with the Rell.
And I was wondering whether they were going to just go full Nocturne composition and pick the Nico. But I think Nico into the Camille can be a little bit of a difficult matchup. Core's been great on the Rell, and this is just more, we can dive you at any stage. We can put a ball on basically anyone and have a good time. We've had the Orianna Nocturne combination banned the entire season in the LCK. We have never seen it. It just hasn't happened this season, I'm pretty sure.
It's also because the Nocturne is so oppressive in those levels 1 to 3, like looking for early invades as well is so strong. And against the Wukong, I think that could be something you could try and look towards, but I think we're going to get a lot of the target bans towards the AD carry role with Team Liquid coming in, because Camille kind of wants something that can have decent wave clear and be left on their own. If you can try and remove some of those picks, I think you set up nicely then for Team Liquid to try and respond for a Camille roam with that potential dive on the bottom lane.
Yeah, the Ziggs and the Mel have definitely been premier combos with it, so we'll see. They're actually banning away the Ezreal. This is definitely one of those safe champions that could be left alone. Not so much indexing into the mages just quite yet, but definitely looking at the top side here, because both Canna and Morgan were very, very good, even against T1, against Doran. And had been the best performing players on their teams in those losing games that they had anyway. Definitely we're saying Morgan's Renekton, his most played and his best champion, iconic, so that's a worthy target ban right there.
I'm hoping it was Canna, he's just sitting back there, it's like, I remember what to do against Morgan, we ban the Crocodile, and that is definitely a good idea. He was also the one that debuted Yorick in the top lane as well in the LCK, so it might be something that they could look at in theory. Wouldn't mind a little bit of side lane power for TL at this point in time, but the Jace going to be taken away from Canna, definitely one of his comfort picks.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they were going to try and go for the Rumble on this rotation, even though you kind of want the counter pick, just because it's been such a strong pick for Canna. Oh, she's banned away, thank you, Gobi. But I still think getting some of this strong, the Gnar in that top lane that can work in these team fights is going to be the big focus here for that top side. But it looks like they're going to go towards the Varus, which can be a little bit vulnerable. This will be unreal, because Caliste has not played any of the mages at all split long. And it's not something I expect them to pick up, but obviously coming into this patch, you need to have this in your wheelhouse.
And it's a really dangerous time to pick Ziggs as well, because Orcs is on the analyst test, so he will be adjudicated for his level of play.
And the pairing is just so good with the Camille, because you have kill pressure in lane, you can also just clear waves, let the Camille have so much extra time roaming around, and if they can get the Ryze into a very good point on side lanes here, be able to move around, then maybe that will be the avenue to victory. The Tristana Rell combo here from bot side.
So she actually got buffed coming into this patch well, with the mana going down on her Q, so making her a lot easier to just hop in and look for these aggressive trades. So definitely going to be a little bit of a tough one. Satchel Charge might need a bit more defensive in this matchup.
A little bit of a yordle off, and you know what Team Liquid have done? They've just got an extra yordle, and that is going to work out. The blind Gnar towards the top side of the map can be a dangerous one, but we'll see what Canna is going to bring to the matchup. The VAyne is hovered, but that is obviously Busio. The problem is, it's also a counter pick to the Gnar.
There you go, and that's what I was going to say. He's brought it out in the past, and he has looked spectacular on it. And he's loved in the LEC being able to bring this out as a counter pick, and has really run away with this matchup consistently.
And now they have an AD carry.
True.
That's kind of nice.
I mean, this is so fun, this draft, because topside, of course, Canna with the counter pick is going to want attention up there from jungle, but also bottom side, this Tristana Rell combination from Team Liquid into the Camille lane. Rell actually is very good at face tanking the E from Camille, and then can also Shattering Strike off the shield as well. So maybe they even just try and turn it instantly and kill him. Tristana, especially if you can get early lead, you can get that early auto push and really try and put the extra pressure.
And she's also extraordinarily safe into Camille, because you just press R when she presses R.
Buffer.
And then they die.
Then when she gets the ultimate, you have your ultimate to knock her.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So you just, like, she hextechs ultimatum, and you're like, that's not an ultimatum. It's actually, you go over there now, and then we're done. So I really like that choice. Definitely going to, like, this reminds me of the old Tristana Alistair lanes. You know, if we're thinking back to League Classic that has recently come into our forefront, like, that was an old kill lane. And Rell Tristana kind of works in a similar way. We'll see whether they go for, like, the weird level 3s or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how Caliste tries to play this, because I think if you're Busio, I don't even want to be in the lane. I want to, like, move towards mid and look against that Orianna. I want to try and capitalize on the advantages that have been gained for this VAyne in the top lane. So does that then lead to, hey, we're going to try and dive Ziggs repeatedly? Or is it just a case of, hey, CoreJJ is trying to match some of those roams?
We'll see how it goes as we are onto the Rift for game number 1 of this best of 5. Fighting for a chance to take on T1 for a spot at the main stage. As already, we have a little bit of aggression. Great hookshot to come out from Busio here to get Morgan down to 50%, but he will be able to get out whilst retaining his flash.
They've also got wards now on both of those bushes in the top lane, so nowhere really safe for Morgan, even if he does teleport back in here. So already, a lot invested.
Yeah, and Busio's going to keep investing his time. You see him going through the jungle at the moment. He's going to pass over the ward, so they're finally going to get that vision. But Morgan is 50% HP on the top side. He decided he's not going to go back and waste his summoner spell cooldown with the teleport. He's just going to chug his potion and try to stay here, but Canna can continue to punish.
And the trade-off, right, is that Caliste cannot farm. It is only one wave that he's lost so far, but Morgan very, very close to death and will now be going home.
It's also support role quest as well, because we do live in the world with the quests, and so Busio did spend a lot of time out of lane for the very beginning, but it has had a huge impact already on this top lane. Now it's going to start slow pushing here towards him. Morgan should be able to collect all right.
Yeah, I'm curious what the answer is here for KC, though. Like, especially now that you have push in mid. We saw in game 1 against T1, Yike wanted to try and go for some sort of invade, but without having the support of your bottom lane, could be a little bit risky. So we'll have to see if they want to try and still capitalize on this push for kyeahoo, because he's got good control here.
Well, having a look now, mid lane is under KC's control for the minute. And CoreJJ going to crash towards Busio here. Still level 1, just trying to utilize that level advantage that TLAW do have towards this bottom side. And Yeon just going to be shooting things. The good thing about the Tristana in this matchup as well is that you can somewhat match the wave clear of the Ziggs with the explosive shot. As you get that one leveled up, you will be able to just blow up these minions over and over again. It's going to feel a little bit better.
So kyeahoo went for the early reset there to pick up his tier, which is great because he's opted into the Ghost instead of going for that teleport. So having him be able to reset and buy that timer is going to be super nice. And now as we start to look towards like a potential push out of mid, it's going to be that bot lane scuttle that will be the action.
All right, we got to get all the fans in on this. You know, it's North America versus Europe here. Vote now in chat. Who's going to take it? You know, the timing is not that great for North American fans.
Already making excuses, Kobe. Already making excuses.
But vote from your sleep.
KC's a really small fan base, so I think I'll probably even out on that one. Yeah.
I have a feeling you might win this.
Yeah, I heard it's called the blue fence, isn't it? You know, not the blue. Okay, Canna is in a lot of trouble here towards the top side. First blood for the Lord Morgan, as the Gnar will take down the VAyne in the counter matchup. up.
Okay, now vote. I know some of you voted a little early there. Maybe you want to switch the votes. Oh, Lord Morgan, let's go.
I don't know what happened up there.
Canna died. Canna died.
Yeah, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
We'll get a replay here because he had the exhaust. Just looks like he didn't respect Morgan being able to jump in on top of him. Oh, tumbled in.
He tumbled in.
Huh?
Canna, that was not it.
And the exhaust was incredibly late as well, so the boulder hit for full damage.
Yeah, good punish from Morgan on that one. His bot lane, here we go.
Yep, crash down just to try and get kyeahoo out of here. He does want to try and take on CoreJJ. Will get him down very, very low, but they keep themselves alive. This is a great start for TL.
Yeah, really good start as they actually try and look for an invade on towards this top side as well. Both crabs were taken by Yike, so they want to try and get something back for Josedeodo here.
Well, Yike is now just going to be pushed away. QUID with the right to roam, given the fact that the Ryze was moving down. Nice little distortion for a bit of extra damage towards this monkey, and it will be a successful steal away. And so I do really feel like games that are a bit chaotic within the lanes really help Nocturne compositions, who just want to get around and get stuff done. And TL won. How did this happen?
I think Morgan is. We're gonna thank Morgan.
I thank Morgan every day.
It's a 9 a.m. start. All the people are in work.
But it really does help out so much for Gnar to have that recovery from the start that Busio actually affecting that lane so heavily. I mean, Canna helped him with the tumble in there, but such a better spot now for Morgan looking at the side lanes later on.
And it just shows that it is a difficult matchup to play out, even if it is considered one that's very, very difficult. I think that you still need to play it incredibly well to make the VAyne work.
And it has been Canna traditionally playing this matchup very well. Like, he wouldn't tumble in. He's been very good at positioning around where the Gnar can try and find those advantages, but a massive misstep is making things significantly easier for Morgan, as Kobe was saying, in this matchup, and alleviates a lot of pressure now for, hey, how do you try and play around the map as Busio, because you're not actually getting that full control on the top side anymore.
And like we said, Morgan and Canna both had very good, starts to the tournament. But here is that all-time, matchup between the two from the LCK. And let's take a look at bottom side, actually, really quickly.
Yeah, Busio and Yike making their way in here as CoreJJ trying to dodge out of the way here as the crash down doesn't quite work. Does need to flash to get himself out of the way. But that Aftershock putting in work here to make sure he stays alive.
Good flash from CoreJJ, just about able to step away. Still, you're getting river control here for KC. I think it's just for Scuttle Crab. I don't think you really want to start up this Dragon quite yet.
Level 6 available potentially, as Yike does look for it. So the classic battle for the Crab coming on through as kyeahoo was considering a back, but does cancel it here as Jose does move his way over. QUID moving into the darkness, does have his orb in order to see what's going on, but it looks like they will forego that. Yike is going to be able to pick up the Crab and move back to collect that level 6 now off his next camp. Is Canna going in one more time? Morgan still respecting, but steel caps are so powerful in this matchup.
Yeah, certainly are. And, KC, even though they're able to get the level 6, they don't want to go for the Dragon because they want to protect all their top camps here. They have 3 top camps, so they don't want to leave it open for a top side play there for Team Liquid. So both Busio roams up through mid, and Yike crosses back over to protect his camps and make sure he's going to get his level 6.
With those 3 camps taken, though, it looks like KC might try and set up for some sort of play on the top side.
Got it.
Busio already roaming. You do have blue buff spawning for Josedeodo, though, so he should be on top end.
And look at this full swap here. They're actually sending Tristana up to the top side too for Team Liquid, so they're doing the lane swap. Meanwhile, Ziggs left in the bottom lane there, does not have teleport.
All right, they're going to replace the Yordles, moving Morgan down towards that bottom side, as we can see, as now you've got the Cyclone coming on through. CoreJJ will be able to crash over the wall, but Busio gets in there and takes down the Rell. Wrong place, wrong time for the TL support.
KC make the play happen before Team Liquid can really mount the defense, catching CoreJJ as he's trying to get the vision, and it's a quick punch back into the face.
They thought they had so much safety because everybody was up around there with Morgan recalling in the brush and Nocturne ultimate ready, but Core just gets bursted so quickly. They don't want to play into the losing skirmish already, so KC get one back, and we're right back to even.
It is entirely square between the two teams at the moment. Exactly what we wanted for this game number 1. E versus NA. TL desperately trying to get to that rematch with T1, but so are KC.
Would I say technically NA has 2 kills because Busio is the one who got the kill?
No, he's Polish. He's Polish. Remember? Yeah. In the same way, it's Jose Pion now.
All right, Morgan could be in a little bit of trouble. Does hit Mega at exactly the right time, though, for the defense, grabbing that extra health as the Dragon is going to be begun here by KC. TL, with their control of the waves, have been able to get to a slight gold advantage, and Jose is on these grubs, able to take them down as well. And Yeon's on Tristana, right? Like, you can really demolish these turrets very, very quickly. Same to be said for Ziggs, but I think the sieging capabilities of both of these comps is pretty scary.
Yeah, I mean, Caliste, though, just going to be able to clear out the wave, and I do like the way Josedeodo's kind of changing up his jungle path here. I think if you're separated from Yike, it opens up for Busio and Yike to go for plays on side lanes that can make it really uncomfortable for Team Liquid. So by leaving his Krugs available on the bottom side, he's now going to be able to kind of match this clear down towards the bottom half of the map and kind of keep pace with Wukong, which makes it a little bit easier to kind of control what KC can do in these early stages.
Yeah, incredibly dangerous when they have extra time to roam around. And look at the deep vision from KC through the red quadrant of TL's jungle as well, so they can look to try and set up these plays, try and set up some more roams in between.
Yep. Of course, homework done for Dragon was definitely very thorough. Absolutely. But Morgan just going to clear out the wave. We did have waves equalizing towards the top side as well. But with 81 to 81 as far as CS is concerned between these top laners, that kill gold retained here for Morgan does feel like the Gnar is in a much better position than I was expecting in this matchup against the VAyne, that does really like to catapult themselves into a good position in the earlier stages rather than utilize late game. That being said, I feel like how this composition works later on in the game is a little bit different to a traditional VAyne in the top lane with another AD carry there towards the bottom side.
Yeah, trying to have so much pressure on all three lanes. You show one person each lane and then have two junglers basically, with Busio also always hovering around. It looks like they've decided top lane where Yeon is going to be the target. Now, Yike does have his ult back.
Yeah, only level 5 for Busio as there's a rocket jump in, flashes away immediately. And the Hextech sweep does come on down. Yeon does have Buster Shot, gets rid of the VAyne, and there's the barrier, but it's not going to be enough. Yike able to lock down that kill. CoreJJ a little bit late. The paranoia comes in though as Morgan gets in. The Mega Gnar is a little late as he's looking for more. Busio was the guaranteed kill, but he does not actually go for it. Went for the big one, and that's going to let them all live apart from Busio, who will be caught by the very edge of the shockwave.
That could have gone so much worse for KC, though, as the Avengers assembled. They just about managed to scurry away from that. It'll only be Busio who has to give his life.
And in the end, they've got a Ziggs just pushing bottom lane there. Caliste, there's 2 turret plates off of that bottom side turret now. Jose is continuing through the top side jungle invade, though.
Yeah, looking for Yike here. We'll be able to push him away from this inner turret, buy some more space for Morgan as well to possibly get another plate. But Busio back out onto the map. Core is going to show up here as well. Still level 5 for both of our supports. CoreJJ very, very close to getting that Magnet Storm available. If they can find a fight with support ultimate advantage, that could be a big deal. But nothing really coming up and available within that time, which is going to be quite a slight window as CoreJJ will be able to hit that ultimate now.
The Yike's starting to get into a good spot, though. Just completed the Triforce. You can see here is KC, they end up going for the dive. It's a nice job by Yeon to flash away from the hit from Busio, but it's Canna being able to just get in range to get that condemn into the wall, but then sets up for the follow-up play. But with the Gnar TPing in behind, I thought this was going to be it. But with Canna getting the flash over the wall, Yike being able to get over as well, there's no one on Team Liquid that they can really find. So KC, it's only Busio who gets caught on the lip of this ultimate from QUID.
Yeah, right on the edge. Morgan was so close to being in like flash Gnar range after he got over that wall. Doesn't go for it, but does hold on to the flash. And we are missing a couple of flashes over the side of KC, so maybe some good news for TL. But we'll just have to see how it all does shake out. As QUID trying to get some vision back here, putting some wards into this brush, but full information is there as Yeon's just dead. Caliste gonna pick up a solo kill in the bottom lane.
This is the first time Caliste, oh, hang on.
QUID gonna have to run away here. Does have his ultimate back up and available once again. But yeah, let's go back to what just happened in that bottom lane.
Because that's Caliste's first time ever playing Ziggs in a competitive game, and he's just soloed Yeon. Like, where the hell has this been hiding?
Yeah, we need a replay of that because, you know, Yeon didn't have his summoner spells from that top side play, but Caliste didn't flash or anything, so let's take a look at it. Just hitting some bombs, I assume.
Yeah, because it's not like you don't have a leap away as Tristana, so that was the initial poke that we saw. A lot of damage, honestly, off of that first combo.
Another bomb. Spike. Yeah. No joke.
He just doesn't miss.
You just hit every bomb. That's the answer.
Wow.
Huh. Well, that'll do it. A little bit of disrespect there out of Yeon. And they will be able to pick up that solo kill towards the bottom side. Morgan, with that Mega Gnar now up and available, Busio is going to be supporting Canna here. And that will mean that this Gnar won't be able to get any more plate money towards that top side. First turret blood going over to KC, though, as that one was eradicated from the bottom lane. Ziggs doing exactly what it says on the tin.
But especially when Caliste had faced so much kind of backlash over his initial tournament showings, this is a fantastic performance. 1.6k gold lead on when he's never played mages before, now looking to rotate around the map and continue to grow that lead. Like, this is exactly what Europe wanted to see from this young AD carry.
Yep, this is textbook Ziggs play as well. Just move him to another lane with a turret.
Yeah, and that's perfect for the comp that they have since they want to play the map so spread here. With all these different pressure points, and they can just overload, delete this tower with another satchel charge,
yep,
and
there
continue
it is.
the snowball.
Beautifully done. So immediately moving up to 2 turrets taken. Mid lane outer is ready to fall as well, as we can see, although not as ready to fall as I may have otherwise expected. TL getting a little bit more ground there in mid. As we have a look at the Coinbase gold grind, yeah, Caliste doing a phenomenal job up against Yeon here, and they do need their Tristana to start getting strong for that late game consistent damage.
And it's so scary too because Busio also had a pretty good start, so we're going to see the combo, the Camille ult and the Ziggs ult and all this guaranteed damage.
Crazy.
If Caliste is fed, then that damage is just going to be lethal. You're just going to get one comboed.
I do think the shining light here for TL, though, is that KC stayed very late on the map. So with Rift Herald about to spawn in 20 seconds, KC are now only looking for those resets. So TL, knowing that, are starting to step forward, get some deep vision, make sure they can set up for the objective first.
Yeah, and they also have level 11 on QUID as well. So rank 2 in that Shockwave, and we haven't really seen the Nocturne Orianna combo employed just yet. So in a straight up 5v5, things could be difficult for KC. They have a lot of smoke and mirrors in their composition, and I think if TL managed to sink their fangs in, it could be a tough one to play out.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at Morgan, see if he can get over there. Wants to charge up his Gnar bar a little bit on the way as well. He does have his flash. Pretty much everybody except for QUID has the safety of their flash for this fight.
Well, Jose is just going to be using that spell shield, but the Cyclone comes down immediately. There's the Hextech ultimatum, but maybe Busio has gone too far. As CoreJJ will help lock him down. That is Morgan going to get thrown away as Jose goes in. It's a big Gnar from Morgan as well. Caliste getting taken down solo, but the Dustbringer is not enough. Morgan's dead. Yehu's at full health, and now it's KC's turn to start moving forward. That's a great dissonance to try and slow down this Ryze, and they do hold them at bay for now.
Oh, those flashes were critical. You know, being able to draw Busio that far under tower, and then Core with the combo to keep him there started it out good for TL, but then they also go under KC's tower, Dagda.
And it was also just a little early on that combo from KC, right? Caliste, if he'd waited a little bit for that Busio ult to actually land, would have been able to get that ultimate first, but with that flash, as you talked about, getting him away, Josedeodo lives, and it became a spicy play in the mid lane.
And that's what we were talking about. We were waiting to see the Nocturne Orianna combo, then it comes in. And now we're sitting at 4-4, everything tied up once again.
Yeah, it was a buy one, get 3 free though, because usually when you do the Nocturne Orianna combo, it's you kill the carry. Managing to pick off all those members of KC and push them back was so crucial for that play.
I think the Nocturne Ori combo got Morgan a little too hyped as 4 now.
A little bit overly enthusiastic.
I mean, I got super hyped too. We were all like, oh my goodness,
I was not
the
hyped.
triple.
I was hyped for the League of Legends. Don't worry, Dagda, I'll be with you when KC find themselves an angle.
Fan. It's okay.
Yeah, just trying my very best to be completely unbiased with my favorite player of all time on one of the teams in this game. Okay, we do have the Rift Herald now getting taken down very, very low as Jose trying to make Busio scared, but Busio not a very scared man, as they will be able to take down the Rift Herald. Immediately thrown down. Not sure about that one.
I think they thought that he was in danger, so he was going to give the exit car if like Busio got caught or something.
Instead, it's giving some gold over to Jose, and that is about it. As now we're going to have a look at the replay of the previous fight.
Yeah, I mean, as we see this kick off, like the immediate jump onto Josedeodo, but here I expected them to wait for Busio's ult to land before they threw out the Ziggs ult. And then as you called it, Kobe, flashing under the tower, mines just buy a bit of space. But I think it's Morgan with this combo that ends up setting up really well. Yeah,
so Jose gets the triple shockwave. We all got hyped, and then Morgan does the bounce in and then flashes over. And so he just dies under tower, doesn't get them. And, you know, everybody having flashes had the big difference, right?
I did, it was the Morgan ult that looked a little wonky to me. I thought he'd hit a couple of members, but just couldn't connect.
Yeah, no Canna flash now, no Caliste flash now, no Yike flash now after that because of it. And so The summoner spells being traded have to keep you know, these cooldowns here slightly more you know, effective now for TL, you would think, with Yeon having the double summoner spells, both their main carries.
Yeah, both Ari and the Tristana having summoners available for a Drake that's spawning in 30 seconds time. I think could be a big deal fighting for double dragon here on both sides.
Yeah, I do think an early stop off with kind of third item here for Caliste and kyeahoo, getting that Seeker's arm guard is going to be really crucial. Just nullifying the amount of targets that Team Liquid have for this Nocturne Orianna combo is going to be big. It kind of just leaves Canna out in the open, but look, he's going to have to take one for the team.
Right now, too, they're going to have to answer the split push. Look at KC. They've got both sides pushing in here with the VAyne Ryze. And so TL going to send Morgan up here, drop the cannon.
Yeah, one answer is at least there. Not going to be taking down that crystalline overgrowth just yet, as Morgan does set himself up to take out at least that wave. We do have minion wave pretty close to TL's front door as well on that bottom side of the map, as KC going to utilize this pressure in the side lanes to try and take down this dragon. Has been started up already. Not a lot of vision available for TL.
Morgan also doesn't have TP. He used it to get to the Rift Herald play, so KC, realizing that it was Morgan who went topside, are going to be the ones to take it, but now might be Canna in trouble.
Yeah.
Paranoia going to come in immediately, and now Jose should be able to make this a very scared VAyne, and Morgan just going to pick that one up with a cheeky auto attack after Jose did all the work.
Yeah, nice move here from TL. They make that like the call pretty early. Hey, we're not going to be able to get this dragon, so just keep on pushing topside, and we'll look. You know, if Canna is still there, then we'll, you know, pop the ultimate, and they do. They get sight of him. So that Jose is able to connect with the Nocturne ultimate and grab that one, even though they did have that top lane summoner spell advantage.
And gentlemen, there was like a 1.6k gold advantage for Caliste. Where has it gone? I'm genuinely curious. I don't know where it went.
Yeah, I think Yeon did have the calls, so partly
that's probably it.
And then, you know, picking up some of the turrets as well. But yeah, it's just been Team Liquid managing to play on side lanes well and picking off some of the members that have been straggling for KC. And I think that's kind of where now, with the Nocturne on board, it does become a little bit more difficult for KC to really get plays here. They can't really push out mid. They haven't been able to get as much control on side lanes because of the Nocturne, which is stopping them getting the mid lane turret and kind of pushing those advantages forward.
Yeah, it feels like the key players right now for each team is Jose for Team Liquid. The Nocturne ultimate is going to determine so many of their plays. And then Busio on KC, but
there it is. That's a lot of damage towards this VAyne. Does go invisible, though, underneath the turret, so they're unable to actually kill Canna here, who still has teleport.
They did manage to flash away from that Orianna ult as well, so Canna stays alive. That's the immediate go button on the Baron, and Team Liquid trying to see if they can re-enter here.
Yeah. And it's only on CoreJJ and Morgan for now, as Morgan is going to get turned on. Great Narbar position, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough, as he's already taken down very, very low. He tries to crush away, flashes out as that Cyclone tries to hold him into position, and Yeon now moving forward. KC have backed away from the Baron, though, and they're just going to now Rell warp themselves into the mid lane for no... What? Why did we do this? As now QUID is going to be able to help lock them down. That's a kill over to Yeon, and that felt like a mistake.
That was certainly a mistake, Atlus. Right into the waiting arms of CoreJJ. They wanted to get over to the wave to defend mid lane, but Core just lets him have it.
Yeah, who saw T1 do it against him?
That's what I was like,
maybe we need to do it, but that was a huge mistake because I don't think they could turn back towards the Baron. Morgan had the TP, they didn't get the kill, so there was going to be too many members of Team Liquid at the Baron. And in trying to protect mid lane, they end up just giving across kills on top of the mid lane tower.
What was their vision like on the mid wave? They for sure saw Tristana. Did they not see the Rell right there? Because the Ryze Rell Morp has been serving people up on silver platters this tournament.
Yeah, it seems to be a negative ultimate for the Ryze team. We'll see whether that is going to be something that can be rectified as we move further on. But let's have a look at this one more time. I really thought that the turn onto Morgan was going to work for KC.
Yeah, they really almost were able to burst him, but he's able to flash out and escape. And then, so there is a control ward here that Core's in, but they see him there. So they just don't respect him. He popped his head out of the bush for a second there.
Yeah. And the Shattering Strike Flash just beautifully timed and positioned, but it was capitalizing on a mistake.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't keeping track of the flash cooldowns again.
Well, we'll just have to see whether that is going to continue here, as TL moving themselves into a really good position here in this game. Not quite able to take a Baron or anything like that off the back of that play, and only a 2,000 gold lead. For this next Drake, they should be able to even things out and get a little bit of control here with a composition that scales pretty nicely as we get later and later into the game.
Certainly does. The Orianna Nocturne combo, Atlus.
It does feel like it's a lot of like keep it simple. We have a phrase, it's called kyeahoo, which is keep it simple, Ryze group. It does roll off the tongue. I'm really glad because like we thought that when we came up with it. And it just means that just build compositions that are easy to execute, make them work. You can focus on fundamentals. You don't need to worry about how the team fights are going to work. And this is kyeahoo to a T.
Yeah,
it's
and there's
beautiful.
There's so many good targets to use your combo on.
Yeah.
So lots of squishy available targets for them to try and burst.
The Seeker's arm guard was bought on reset by the Ziggs though, so Caliste is kind of taken away as one of those targets. That ward doing work here to spot out where Team Liquid is.
Yeah, but KC not exactly in position. They do spot that ward out though, and they are going to back away from the Baron.
Yeah, it's kyeahoo has the Realm Warp though, and he's been playing heavily on this bottom side, so I think Team Liquid are hoping they could get that cooldown out of kyeahoo, but with 20 seconds now until Dragon, this becomes
I don't know, the cooldown has been working very well within team fights for Team
fair.
Liquid so far, so maybe they don't want to get that one out.
Yeah, let's see too. Can they protect Orianna? Because QUID has been doing a lot of work here, and now he's set up for another possible combo with Jose. Little flank around possibility from Yike. He's kind of, since they had pushed on bottom side really heavily, maybe he was thinking we approach this dragon from bottom side instead of mid. TL are going to get the mid prow themselves. They're going to push it that way and enter from top.
Yeah, I feel like KC's control of the Drake so far this game, though, have been pretty fantastic as Busio goes in. I don't know about that one. He's just dead. Wasn't able to click any buttons onto anyone and just goes down. And now KC just have to scatter. They'll have to give up this dragon. And can TL take even more?
They have to give up so much control as well. It means that there's already kind of that wave that's been pushed in mid that Team Liquid can reconnect with and also potentially move over towards the Baron area. Busio can make it back out in time, but they're controlling the map so well right now.
Yeah, I mean, the KC comp is so fragile, right? You have to make split-second decision.
Not very kyeahoo.
No, it's not. You have to hit these combos. If they don't get a stun to play off of, then nobody else is going to go in. And so the Baron now is the next threat. Busio, though, back on the table. Support death timers are pretty short.
The Rell.
Well, Core is going to get in there with the Magnus Storm. They look to turn this fight around. Busio going to be the first target. Mega Inferno Bomb comes in, though. The Cyclone's fantastic as they do manage to get a kill back, but Yeon is just untouched. Yehu taking so much damage, and now the resets start to come in. Yeon really feeling like he's hit his stride in this game, and TL, they didn't want the Baron. They just wanted to kill them all.
Kill them all and then take the resets here. They've got a lot of extra cash to spend. Let's take a look at it, though, because CoreJJ, as you called him out, he sweeps over the wall. They get another big CoreJJ Rell engage. And then Tristana and Jose can both go over, and here comes a shockwave as well. They're going to be able to get this one on multiple members. That's four members in QUID shockwave.
Absolutely tears KC apart. KC thought they had their moment, but Team Liquid just baiting them in.
The whole time, Yeon had Buster Shot.
Yeah.
Like, even if they had have tried to get on top of him, he still has the cooldown. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Shockwave damage. You can see how much it's doing QUID on the Orianna, putting in work.
This also bodes really well for the series for Team Liquid if QUID is not nervous in game number 1. He talked a lot about it when we had him up on the desk, in their series versus T1 and in the past series as well throughout his career. So it's very good to see for NA fans if QUID is feeling comfortable and confident in the games. And, of course, if he has a good performance here in number 1.
I think if you're ever going to be nervous, it's when you're a mid laner playing against Faker in an international tournament. Yeah. I'm not blaming QUID for that one at all, ever.
Speaking of T1, we're going to do a little Baron here off Vision.
A little bit of a cheeky one, but they do have a lot of control of this game for now. And this Baron should just go over to them. Yike is going to poke his head in, but Yeon, we mentioned the Buster Shot. He does have it, uses it, and Yike going to have to just try and get himself out of there. Now the Nocturne ult does come on through. There's the Shockwave, but it's avoided by Busio just beautifully as they've taken down the Trist already. QUID now in a lot of trouble, but he does manage to at least take out Busio, but CoreJJ going to be required to stop QUID from going down, and the Baron was not secured. And KC are just going to say thanks for the leash.
KC find the moment to bring it back with the Realm Warp. That actually works out perfectly.
Yeah, Yeon took so much damage from the Baron. Yeon got so low for the Baron.
Oh, wait a sec.
All right, looking for an angle here is once again CoreJJ finding an angle. That is a lot of damage as Yike's in a lot of trouble, gets the Cyclone down, and Canna is trying to get these autos in. Yehu is a monster, but it's a massive ulti from Morgan into the wall. Yehu gets Baron involved, and he's going to go down to the Baron shot as Canna just gets out of there. Spawn's losing his mind, and the Baron stays stays alive.
You know who wins NA versus EU? It's the Baron!
Buff, baby!
Baron Nashor wins!
What an insane fight, though, because Yike goes in and turns the focus from Team Liquid, but it's the Realm Warp that ends up bringing in kyeahoo, flashes the Orianna ult, gets a ton of damage down with Busio, but it's as they try to follow up, that's kind of where it starts to fall apart, because QUID separates, kyeahoo goes a little bit too far trying to step up, and as they turn back towards the Baron, that's when Team Liquid fall back on CoreJJ.
Man, I love League of Legends. We're back at the Baron, guys.
We're doing it again. It's KC
got
have a cheeky ward over the wall, but they don't have any players. So this Baron is finally going to be secured by TL. I'm pretty sure Baron actually last hit at a triple kill in that last fight. Very impressive play out of the Purple Worm. We're going to need that that highlight reel, I think, in the package towards the end of the day, as we now have Morgan going in, looking for an angle, as that was not the option that Caliste was looking for, but that is quite a decent stopwatch. Still, it's just not going to do anything. He's going to go down. That's going to be an inner turret, and this is exactly what you don't want, is to have your main form of wave clear dead when the Baron is knocking at your front door.
I mean, that tower did nothing to Morgan. Actually was doing negative damage to him. So yeah, good tower dive from him. And
we've got another angle here as Josedeodo just going to give them the thumbs up in multiple different ways. TL now just going to look to end this game. First Nexus turret is now taking damage. Jose with Paranoia available. Yike is in a lot of trouble. There it is. He's going to follow him to the fountain. And the Nexus turrets will be falling. Decent amount of AoE, but kyeahoo goes golden. They need him to actually do damage. But the Nexus is now being focused. TL looking for game one in this EU versus NA battle to bring them one game up in the series. They're going to grab some kills first, and that is going to be that 1-0 for Team Liquid Alienware.
Woo, what a banger opener right there.
That, man, we said it at the beginning of the day, probably the best series. I think it's already there. I'm going to go out on a limb. All biases aside, I know we like watching our teams win. Some teams have been doing some winning, apart from Deep Cross Gaming, but so far, this has been so entertaining. More of this, please, gentlemen.
Dagda?
Yeah. It's your turn. Your turn next, Dagda. Your turn next.
Yeah, well, this is going to 5 games.
Yeah,
we all know what's going to happen. So this is just a quick pit stop, you know? It'll be all right.
KC just very, very generous, giving us as many games as possible. But, man, that was one heck of a game. Gentlemen, what did you make of it?
Well, we spent